Whispers of winter. Ella. Come on, it's the perfect day to go snowboarding. I heard Chloe's voice carry up the mountain like an excited wind. She stood at the bottom, brandishing her sleek snowboard that glistened in the winter sun, a contagious energy radiating from her. I'm coming. Give me a second. I called back. Watching her bounce with impatience made me chuckle. She always was the more eager of us two. It was as if she were trying to jumpstart the universe into recognizing our long-awaited snow day. Finally, I reached the top of the hill behind her family cabin in the serene landscapes of Vermont. The panoramic view took my breath away, snow blanketed the earth like a soft white quilt, sparkling like diamonds in the sunlight. Chloe turned to me, her sapphire blue eyes shining as vibrantly as the frozen scene before us. There's something magical about days like this, she said, her voice thick with nostalgia. Yeah, it reminds me of our childhood, I replied, feeling a rush of memories flood back, memories of summer bonfires, whispered secrets, and carefree laughter echoing in the evenings. Chloe nudged me playfully. Remember when we stayed out until midnight just to catch the first snowfall? Of course, I chuckled, turning the memory over in my mind. And the cocoa fights afterwards? Ha! And I lost every time, she grinned, the laughter spilling between us like the warmth from a flickering fire. We really should make new memories together. Agreed. My voice softened, caught in the current of those fond memories. But an unspoken question lingered in the air, hanging like snow on a branch, heavy yet beautiful. Let's not waste another moment. Time to conquer this hill. Chloe exclaimed, her enthusiasm renewed. She positioned herself on the board and beckoned for me to join her. In an instant, I was scrambling onto the board behind her. We adjusted our weight and with a push, we launched forward, racing down the slope. The rush of cold air whipped against my cheeks, pulling delighted squeals from my lips as we soared. Chloe's laughter filled me with warmth. Her energy was intoxicating as we dashed through the snowy landscape. Suddenly we hit a bump, the board lifting from the snow, and we tumbled into a fluffy mound. I found myself half buried, laughter bubbling up as I looked at her, snowflakes caught in her hair like tiny stars. That was exhilarating. I gasped, brushing the snow from my face as I beamed at her. Chloe was sprawled beside me, glittering with snow, her laughter infectious. Best day ever, she said, pushing herself upright, still full of uncontained joy. I've missed this. I've missed us. As she brushed the snow from her jacket, I couldn't help but admire her, the defined cheekbones, the way her hair danced in soft curls, and the spark of mischief in her eyes. Yet beneath the laughter, I felt an undercurrent of something more. It's been ages since we did anything like this, I said, suddenly more serious. I pushed myself up to meet her gaze. When did it get so complicated between us? Chloe's eyes darkened slightly as she considered my words. Complicated? Or just forgotten? The silence stretched for a moment, filled with a million unsaid words, the memories of our closeness from long ago mingling with the present. What if we didn't have to forget? I ventured hesitantly, heart racing. What if we tried to find our way back? Her expression turned earnest, that mischief replaced with vulnerability. Are you suggesting, she began, trailing off thoughtfully. Taking a breath, I leaned closer, drawn to her honesty. If we both feel the same way, why not give it a chance? I've spent far too long away from you, Chloe. A flicker of surprise danced in her eyes, quickly followed by a soft, radiant smile. I thought I was the only one thinking that. Ella. And then, without a second thought, she leaned in, her lips brushing against mine softly at first, then more confidently. Time stood still as we exchanged that tender kiss, igniting feelings we had buried for far too long. I've been waiting to feel this again, she whispered, pulling back with a breathless smile. You make everything feel right. We're just getting started, I promised, my heart swelling with hope. Chloe straightened, her grin brighter than the winter sun. Then let's go back down again. As we climbed back up the hill, laughter bubbled between us. It felt as if we were children once more, embarking on a new adventure in a winter wonderland, hands intertwined, hearts unconfined, ready to embrace every whisper the winter wind carried toward us. With each step back up the hill, an electric thrill coursed through me. Chloe's hand was warm in mine, an anchor against the chill of the winter air. The moment felt pivotal, the kind that would echo through time. I could hardly believe the leap we had just made. What were once mere memories now felt alive with potential. Okay, do you remember how I used to bail halfway down because I forgot the right technique? Chloe asked, a teasing lilt in her voice. I certainly do, I replied, suppressing a laugh. And I also remember the times you'd manage to barrel down backwards, and end up laughing uncontrollably while I rolled my eyes. Guilty as charged. She spun around, her curls swaying against her cheeks as she grinned at me, mischief dancing in her eyes. But today, I'm determined to show you I've improved. Good. I'll be right there to cheer you on, I assured her, feeling buoyant with excitement. Once we reached the top again, Chloe positioned herself on her snowboard, glancing back at me with an air of determination. This time, I'm going to nail it. Just watch. I stepped back, Operation Cheerleader engaged, as she prepared to take off. You've got this. Just remember, bending your knees and keeping your weight centered. She shot me a wink and disappeared over the edge. Watching her soar down the hill filled me with an irresistible sense of pride. Chloe maneuvered with newfound grace, carving through the snow like a knife through butter. I felt as if I could hear her laughter even from this distance. See? See? She shouted as she reached the bottom, her arms raised in triumph. That was epic. You practically flew. I called back, running down the slope to meet her. I skidded to a stop beside her, breathless with excitement. Not bad for a girl who almost gave up on snowboarding. She said, her cheeks flushed pink, radiating warmth in the cold. I love that you're not afraid to try, I responded, awash with admiration. That spirit of yours is what I've missed the most. Her happy expression softened as she looked deeply into my eyes. What else have you missed? The question hung between us, heavy yet inviting. Well, I hesitated, caught off guard by her directness. I took a breath, feeling the weight of honesty in my heart. I've missed you, how you make me feel with just a smile, how we can talk about anything or nothing at all. I've missed, well, us. Chloe stepped a little closer, the distance between us now charged with the promise of unspoken truths. I've missed all those moments too. They never faded, they were just buried. When you left for school, I didn't know how to cope with it. I thought I had to be strong alone, but then everything felt so empty. I felt the same, I admitted, the vulnerability blooming. Leaving was the hardest decision I ever made, and being away from you felt even harder. Every moment spent away from you made me realize what I lost. You were always there, in my heart. Chloe smiled softly, her eyes glistening like the icy landscape before us. Then let's make a pact, no more running away from what we feel. Let's not hide behind fear anymore. That sounds perfect, I agreed, the threads of our hearts tangling into something beautifully resilient. Grinning, she took my hand again, guiding us onto the next slope, weaving between trees and endless stretches of white. Together we went down again and again, but it was in the playful competition that our camaraderie reached new heights. I pushed myself to keep up, and before long, we were both tangled in foamy drifts, snow curling around us like a blanket. As twilight descended, the crisp air sparkled with the first stars appearing. They twinkled above us, echoing the warmth I felt. It was a magic I didn't want to end. Do you want to build a snowman? I suggested, half kidding, but fully drawn to the idea of creating something together, a physical representation of our newfound connection. Yes. A snow couple. Chloe declared, her excitement spiraling. With laughter and playful shoves, we began collecting snow, rolling it into mounds, sculpting with whimsy and joy. As we piled the snow higher and added sticks for arms, our souls intermingled in every laughter-filled moment. When we finally stepped back to admire our frosty duo, I looked at her, my heart overflowing. Look at our amazing snow couple. They're a symbol of us, strong, playful, and together. Chloe laughed, her eyes brighter than the stars above. So when are we having them hold hands? Right now, I exclaimed, rushing forward, using more snow to create the touch between the two figures. Once it was done, we stood side by side, gazing at our creation, a perfect blend of our personalities. It felt as though everything was right in that moment, a piece of our past reborn, a step towards what was destined to come. Ella? Chloe said softly, her expression changing as she turned to me. Yes? I met her gaze, the warmth from her smile reflecting in my heart. I want to take this moment and carry it with us, no matter where we go. Can we promise to always make time for these little adventures, always find our way back to each other, no matter how far life pulls us? My heart raced at her words, and without hesitation, I nodded. Absolutely. I don't want to lose you again. Good. Her smile widened, and as we moved closer, she took my free hand, intertwining our fingers. Then here's to our little snow couple, the start of us again. As the stars glittered above us, I felt a warmth enveloping me, more than just body heat from the layers of clothing. It was the warmth of hope, love, and second chances. The snowman stood there, a frozen echo of our bond, and under the blanket of winter, we made our way down the mountain, hand in hand, ready to embrace whatever adventures life would have in store for us next. As we began our journey back down the mountain, hand in hand, the early twilight cast a soft golden hue over the snow, and the trees sparkled like diamonds in the fading light. Each step felt lighter as the air was thick with the promise of renewal. So what's next? Chloe asked, her voice bright with anticipation. Are we going to have cocoa at that little cafe downtown, or do you have another plan up your sleeve? Cocoa sounds perfect right now, I replied, picturing the cozy cafe with its warm lighting and the sweet aroma of baked goods. But let's add a twist. How about we create our own little snow blanket fort in my living room later? We can cozy up inside with our drinks, reliving our adventures and sharing secrets. Chloe laughed, a melodic sound that danced in the crisp air. Yes. I can't remember the last time I built a blanket fort. We'll have to find all the best blankets and maybe some twinkly lights to really set the mood. I could almost envision it, string lights flickering like stars against the fabric and the two of us nestled together amongst the cushions, sipping cocoa as the world faded away outside. It sent a thrill through me, this small yet intimate plan. As we reached the cafe at the base of the mountain, the warmth radiated from within, drawing us in like two moths to a flame. The soft sound of chatter and gentle clinking of cups enveloped us. We found a cozy corner table, and after ordering steaming mugs of cocoa topped with whipped cream and peppermint sprinkles, we nestled into the oversized armchair, feeling the world outside fall away. This feels nice, Chloe said, her eyes sparkling with the warmth of the cafe and the closeness of our reunion. I missed our hangouts, just being together like this. Me too, I replied, lifting my mug. Here's to rediscovering the little things that make us laugh and smile. Cheers. She clinked her mug against mine, and we both took a sip, savoring the sweetness. So tell me more about your time away, Chloe prompted, leaning forward with keen interest. How was university? What crazy adventures did you get up to? Well, I began, recalling the whirlwind of classes, new friends, and late-night escapades. It was a wild mix. I met some amazing people and even tried things I never thought I would, like rock climbing and salsa dancing. Whoa, rock climbing. You're so brave. Her admiration shone in her eyes. But you can't just tease me with salsa dancing without sharing more. Okay. I laughed, feeling buoyed by her playful energy. So I joined a dance group, initially just for fun. But it turned into this whole thing where I danced at social events, and let me tell you, I was terrible at first. I tripped over my own feet so many times. No way. But I bet you were still cute while you were tripping. Chloe winked, sending butterflies flitting in my stomach. Cute. Nah, I looked like a clumsy penguin trying to glide across the ice. I mockingly waddled in my seat, and we burst into laughter, the sound bright and hearty. Our conversation flowed effortlessly, time passing unnoticed as we swapped stories like precious gems. With every shared laugh, every sly smile, the distance of years felt less daunting. It was as if those years apart had merely woven themselves into the fabric of our history, making the present even richer. Just as I sighed in contentment, immersed in reconnecting with Chloe, the cafe door swung open, allowing a gust of icy wind to sweep through the room. A sudden chill sent goosebumps racing across my skin. Maybe we should hurry home, I suggested, glancing at the frosted window. The sky was darkening into deep navy, and the air felt laden with promises of more snow. Definitely. I can't wait to build our fort, Chloe exclaimed, her excitement infectious. We quickly finished our drinks, filled with newfound warmth both inside and out. As we stepped back into the cold, the air was crisp and alive, freshly fallen snow swirling around us like a delicate dance. We made our way back to my house, laughter echoing in the night, each shared glance stirring a comfort that had been dormant for far too long. Once inside, the cozy embrace of home enveloped us, and I set about gathering blankets and cushions from around the house while Chloe rummaged through my string lights. As we worked together, the giddiness of childhood echoed within us, trying to find the perfect spot for our fort, testing out different configurations, and occasionally bursting into fits of giggles. "Okay, I think we need to drape this blanket over here," I said, pulling a fluffy blue throw across the chairs we'd arranged in a circle. "Perfect." Chloe clapped with joy, her eyes alight with creativity. We ensured there was a snug entrance at the front, and soon, with a few more adjustments, our makeshift fort felt like a magical hideaway. "Now for the lights," she said, moving with purpose as she strung the lights along the top edge, creating a soft, ambient glow that flickered like fairy lights. "There." I stepped back to admire our work. It felt intimate, warm, and inviting. Our very own winter wonderland fort. Chloe hopped inside, her face illuminated by the twinkling lights. "This is amazing. Now, Coco." I followed her inside, holding 2 steaming mugs with marshmallows floating on top. We settled into the cushions, our legs pulled up and wrapped in blankets. With the warmth of cocoa and the twinkling lights casting a soft glow, everything around us felt perfect. "This is the perfect ending to an unforgettable day," I said, taking a sip and reveling in the moment. Chloe nodded, her gaze softening as she observed our snowman couple through the window. "And to think, it all started with a sled down the hill. I feel like we've come full circle." "Yes, but this time, we're doing it together," I emphasized, looking into her eyes. "I don't want to lose what we've started today." Her smile widened, her eyes glistening with a mix of warmth and wonder. "Me neither, Ella. I want to stay right here, in this moment, for as long as we can." We toasted our mugs together, letting the warmth of our connection blanket us both, stronger than any sort of fort we could build. As we settled into an easy conversation about our hopes and dreams, draped in blankets and laughter, I felt an imagined future unfurling before us. This was not just a moment, but the turning point toward a shared journey, a friendship blossoming into something deeper, something beautiful destined to endure. The evening drifted on, filled with stories, laughter, and the gentle cadence of our heartbeats. And in that fort, cocooned in our laughter and connection, I finally felt complete.